Go, Tara.
Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to this Atlas Africa student webinar on tourism and cultural diversity. My name is Tara Duncan and I am the chair of Atlas, the Association for Tourism and Leisure Teaching and Research. We are an organisation of around 150 members in 50 countries, and our main goal is around networking and supporting activities of tourism between students, staff and practitioners. And this is the fourth time we've had the opportunity to host this Atlas Africa student webinar, and we're really pleased to be welcoming the Platinum group of women today, I understand, to talk more about the University of Pretoria campus tours and the activities that the students have been doing this year. So without further ado, I will hand over to Karen Smith, Professor Karen Smith, and we will get underway. Thank you.
Hi, thank you so much. Good morning, everybody. Good evening, good afternoon across the world. It is a great privilege to be here. As Professor Tara Duncan indicated, this is our fourth online webinar conference presentation by our honor students, which are the group of students who are doing a postgraduate degree. We are delighted to have this platform, and I hope that you're going to enjoy our presentation today, Tourism and Cultural Diversity, the UPCT way. Without further ado, I'd like to hand over to the team, and they will take you forward on this journey. Thank you.
Good day, everybody. My name is Kaylin Kemsley, and thank you all for being here today. So we are presenting to you from the University of Pretoria. The 5 members of UP Campus Tours 2023 have all completed an undergraduate degree, and we are now currently busy with a postgraduate degree in heritage and cultural tourism. So this postgraduate degree contains courses such as a heritage and cultural tourism course, a managing tourism course, a tourism research and methodology course, a tourism management or destination management course, and lastly, a research report that is to be completed by the end of the academic year. Today, we will be focusing on cultural diversity, the UPCT way. So cultural diversity within Africa, within South Africa, and within UPCT. The University of Pretoria is situated in the southern part of Africa, here in South Africa. South Africa has 9 provinces as shown to you on the map on the screen in front of you. One of these 9 provinces in South Africa is Gauteng, where the University of Pretoria is located. The Gauteng province is the smallest province in South Africa, yet it has the largest population, and it is also one of the most diverse provinces in South Africa. University of Pretoria is one of South Africa's top academic institutions. UP has transformed into a dynamic university community of staff and students who come from a range of diverse backgrounds. Our focus for this year's Atlas webinar is diversity, tourism and cultural diversity, the UPCT way. We chose to focus on diversity because not only is this institution itself very diverse, but so is the UPCT group of 2023, which will be elaborated on later in this presentation. The University of Pretoria prides itself with diversity. Our entire campus is filled with diverse people, cultures, and artifacts. For example, in our museum, we have the Mapungubwe collections with the Mapungubwe gold that was founded at the Mapungubwe Hills. We also have the archaeology collections, which were donated by various diverse artists. We then also have the Japanese garden in our botanical gardens here on campus. To celebrate this diversity, the University of Pretoria hosts its annual UP International Students' Day on October 6th. We also have the Star of David that is on the ceiling of one of our significant buildings on this campus. And on that same building's roof, We have the crescent, which represents the cycle of life in many cultures. So the University of Pretoria is then very diverse, not only with the students here, but also with its surroundings and the collections that are housed here. To start us off, I just want to quote something that Mahatma Gandhi, who was a young lawyer here in South Africa in the early 1900s, and what he said about diversity.
Our ability to reach unity in diversity will be the beauty and the test of our civilization.
What is UPCT then? The University of Pretoria Campus Tours is located on the University of Pretoria's Hatfield, the main campus, in the Department of Historical and Heritage Studies within the Faculty of Humanities. UPCT is then a group of people who basically run a tour guiding business. We arrange tours, we plan events, we create invoices, we do the finances as well as the marketing. UPCT is an initiative that was started by Professor Karen Harris in 2003 and has been a great success since. It is part of the Bachelor's in Social Science honors degree in Heritage and Cultural Tourism. It is then a live project whereby the students are physically and completely involved in the planning and execution of plans relating to campus tours. We give guided tours of the University of Pretoria's Hatfield campus. So the UPCT is then an award-winning business. We then offer school tours, we offer garden tours, we offer prospective student tours, seasonal tours, as well as just general historical tours. We then also have the amazing scavenger hunt that is great for any team building exercise. UPCT is then an experiential learning model, in which we run a real-time tourism business. So throughout the year, we learn transferable skills such as problem solving and client communication, as well as all of the aspects relating to operating any business, including finances, marketing, events planning and managing, administrative work, research, and obviously tour guiding skills. UPCT Group of 2019 came up with the slogan Guiding in Diversity when the Faculty of Humanities turned 100 years old. And this was then to showcase the diversity of that UPCT Group of 2019, but also the diversity within the Faculty of Humanities itself. This business has then been so successful that we are still continuing with it 20 years later. Hence our logo for this year, we still do UPCT. I just want to introduce you to the UPCT team of 2023, starting with myself, Kaylin Queensley. I am in charge of events planning and marketing. So I basically organize the events for UPCT. I make sure that all of the factors regarding the events planning and execution is distributed equally throughout the members of this team. I then also manage and market UPCT on the different social media platforms, which includes the Facebook and the Instagram.
Molweni, I am Annelisiwe Dinizulu and I am in charge of the Human Resources portfolio. My duty is to make sure that everyone sticks to their duties and they apply to the campus tour hours. And I also assist Kaylin with marketing the social media, but mostly on the Instagram side.
Hello, my name is Marley Reder and I'm responsible for office administration and management. So each one of us are responsible for a day in the week doing office hours. And during these office hours, we answer any client related questions. We produce invoices, we answer the telephone, we answer the emails as well. And our campus is access controlled. So I arrange access with our departmental administrator, Ms. Mkita Toto, for our visitors to enter campus. I'm also responsible for our agenda and our minutes of our meetings.
Sanbonani, I am Almin Factor. So I work with the finances and I work closely with our Departmental Administrator Zimkita Toto with the finances. We also work closely with UP Enterprises that sponsors and approves of this multicultural group.
Guten Tag, I am Monique Olivier and my work is public relations and communications. So it's my work liaising with Prof. Harris and making sure the communication with our clients is in line. I'm also in charge of taking care of our gift stocks and also sending out invites for our events. So the term Rainbow Nation was first coined by Bishop Desmond Tutu. So he believed that it's very important to endure, and he was unwavering optimistic, and his hope is still seen today. So Africa is an incredibly diverse continent with a rich tapestry of cultures, languages, traditions, and ethnic groups. These different cultures can include the Bantu-speaking, the Kushtik, the Arab, and the Malagasy. Age diversity in Africa is a significant aspect of the continent's demographic landscape. Africa is known for its youthful population, but it also includes various ages, from children, adolescents, to working age adults and the elderly. From the graph of Africa's age diversity, they can be seen in Africa has a high number of working cultures between the ages of 19 and 45. Education diversity in Africa is influenced by a range of factors, including cultural, historical, political, and economic considerations. The state of education can vary widely from one region to another, and even within individual countries. However, this high number of uneducated pupils in Africa is due to its illiteracy. So South Africa is located in the southern region of Africa. South Africa is a highly diverse country, both culturally and demographically. Thus, the term by Bishop Tutu is clear that South Africa is indeed a rainbow nation due to the rich cultural diversity. In the graph, there can be seen that we have 12 different languages, including sign languages, with all different dialects. This just shows how truly diverse the country really is. 4 of our examples of our cultures can include the Afrikaans people, the Xhosa people, the San and Bushman people, and South African Indian people. So our national anthem is quite unique as we have 4 different languages, including Xhosa and Zulu, Sotho, Afrikaans, and English in our national anthem. So for South Africa, it's a relatively young population, but there's also a significant age demographic. From the diagram, we can see that South Africa has an enormous amount of youth, particularly working adults between the ages of 30 and 35. For education, we will be looking at access to education, language of institution, and higher education. So there are disparities in access to quality of education, particularly between urban and rural areas, and thus indicating the high illiteracy that South Africa is facing. So for languages of institution, South Africa has 12 official languages, which mean that education can be conducted in various languages, including English, Afrikaans, Xhosa, Zulu, and many others, depending on the region and the communities. So for higher education, South Africa has several world-class universities and institutions, making it an educational hub for the African continent. However, the cost of higher education remains a significant issue, leading to student protests and debates about affordability. The graph indicates South Africa's unemployment rate by educational level, where there can be seen there's a humongous number of illiteracy in South Africa. So there's our lovely university, and then Boys High, and then we also have rural high schools in South Africa as well.
And to do the diversity of UP Campus 2023. I'm showing you a lovely graph of the South African map. So Annalisiwe comes from the Eastern Cape, Kaylin comes from Mpumalanga, Marley comes from the Western Cape, from the Northwest, and Monique and myself come from Gauteng. So Annalisiwe Dini Zulu. As you can see in her surname, there is the word Zulu, but she is not from the Zulu culture. She is from the Xhosa culture. Annalisiwe, would you please speak 4 of the languages or even more?
Molweni, Sanbonani, Dumelang, Ni Hao, Lochani.
Wow, that's incredible. She is classified under South African legislation as a Black woman, and she has an undergrad degree in visual studies. Helen Kemsley. She is classified under the South African legislation as a colored woman. She speaks 2 of the 12 languages of our country, namely Afrikaans and English, but more profound in English. She has an undergrad studies in education. Monique Olivier, she is classified under South African legislation as a white woman. She can speak 2 of the 12 languages in our country, namely Afrikaans and English, and more profound in Afrikaans. She has an undergrad studies in heritage and cultural tourism. Marley Reder, she is also classified under the South African legislation as a white woman, and she can speak 2 out of the 12 languages of our country. She has an undergrad in a BA General, where she majored in tourism and geography. And myself, Almeen Victor, is classified under the South African legislation as a white woman. And I can speak 2 out of the 12 languages of our country, namely Afrikaans and English. I have an undergrad studies in education. As you can see, the UP campus tour is very diverse. We have various undergrad degrees, but we all majored in heritage and cultural tourism, and that is why we can study this honors degree. I just want to emphasize on the girls that classify as white. We are also very diverse. Us 3 come from the Afrikaans culture, but looking at Monique Olivier, her ancestors come from, most fondly from Germany. That's why her surname is Olivier. Marley Reder, her ancestors come from the Netherlands. That's why her surname is Reder. And me, myself, my ancestors most probably came from Russia, and that's why my surname is Victor. Now, looking at the previous members of the UPCT, we have hosted a 20-year reunion where there was a lot of people, and we look at the previous members, the diversity. So Krista Rukwe is from Nigeria, and Yi Ling is from China. As you can see, this is just a few of the members, diverse members we have, but we have members from Ghana, Zimbabwe, Botswana, Lesotho. As you can see, the past members are very diverse. And with the success of this honors degree, one of our students is doing her master's in Ireland, sorry.
Tourism brings cross-cultural awareness. People from different cultures and religions are brought together in tourism. Culture in tourism exposes you to different experiences and different ways of life. This year, we hosted the BRAI, which included students from the University of Florida. In this, we exchanged the ways our cultures do things. And also, I got to learn that with something as universal as funerals, we still do them differently. So in our culture, the Xhosa culture, we have funerals mostly on the weekends, and it's usually 2 weeks or 2 weeks after the person has deceased. And in the Muslim culture, the funerals are on the day that the person has deceased. So this has taught me to be culturally understanding and to be sympathetic and empathetic of other people's cultures. Tourism also exposes you to cuisines from different cultures. In our BRAI with the University of Florida, we got to explore how America does things, and we learned that they call a braai a barbecue, but a braai is slightly different from a barbecue. And then we also got to share how our families do things when they gather together and how they share their food. How tourism bridges the gap in education. Tourism's biggest way of bridging the gap is through tourist guides. Tourist guides are teachers and entertainers. They teach in a fun and entertaining way. We are also tourist guides as members of the UP campus tours. The roles of tourist guides include being leaders, educators, hosts, facilitators, and cultural brokers. But the biggest way that tourist guides do things is through being ambassadors. An ambassador is described as someone who extends hospitality and represents a destination in a way that makes visitors want to return. In a city called Pretoria, tourists also learn new skills where they can take bead making classes and learn how to make these beads. Tourism also bridges the gap in education through teaching. So the University of Pretoria also offers classes in which students can take tourism classes like we do. And in high schools, there's also tourism taken as a subject. The University of Pretoria's tourism department teaches the value of tourism, and it also teaches how to maintain and look after tourism sites and attractions. How tourism bridges the gap in age. Tourism bridges the gap by offering age-inclusive experiences. In the past, adventure tourism was mostly aimed at youth, but recently there has been a rise in the older generation participating in adventure tourism. Another way that tourism bridges the gap in age is offering child-friendly restaurants and sites. Another way that tourism bridges the gap in education is offering age-inclusive rates. So a site like Table Mountain in Cape Town offers discounts for children and senior citizens. This is to ensure that everyone gets a chance to explore a site like Table Mountain. Bridging the gap in tourism promotes intergenerational dialogue, and it encourages people to learn from each other and to understand each other. In a world that is full of conflict and cultural differences, it is incredible how tourism bridges these cultural gaps.
As Annalisiwe has mentioned, tourism bridges the gap across various diversities, and UP Campus Tours also bridges the gap between different cultural groups, educational level, income groups, and age. So during the year of 2023, we hosted more than 260 tours, each one customized to the needs of our visitors. During the year, we also hosted the Diplomatic Spouses Walking Club, and Pretoria is situated being one of the countries or towns with the highest densities of embassies. So we've also tapped into this market. We hosted more than 30 spouses representing countries such as USA, Kazakhstan, South Africa, Ukraine, Singapore, and South Korea. We do not interact with cultural groups just at these big events. We also interact with various cultural groups on a daily basis. Then UPCT also bridges the gap between different ages. So at the Diplomatic Spouses Walk, we had our youngest visitor who were only 3 weeks old and our oldest visitor who were 80 years old. We also receive a lot of school tours as these educators believe that we need to bridge the gap between high school life and varsity life. Like Annalisiwe mentioned, we also hosted the University of Florida, situated in the United States. And we actually learned that although we are the same age, we have different lifestyles and traditions. Then UPCT also bridges the gap between different economic groups. We have prospective students arriving in Rolls-Royce or even flying specifically for the tour from Cape Town. We have also schools arriving in buses and taxis. We recently hosted an underprivileged school as part of our annual outreach, where we did a tour and a mini scavenger hunt for them with no fees related. These different income groups are also related to different cultural groups. Then on the educational levels, we receive UP alumni who want to take graduation pictures on our campus, and we host them for their graduation tour. We also receive a lot of international visitors and visiting lecturers at the University of Pretoria, and then we take them on a general tour of campus so that they know where to go when they are here at our university. Like I said, we also host primary schools and high schools, bridging the gap between school and varsity life. We also receive prospective students, where it is the first one in the family to visit the university and study at the university. But these were our first pictures we took at the beginning of the year, and we've actually gained new knowledge and skills throughout 2023. Personally, I have learned the value and experienced the value of networking. Engaging with various cultural groups create a cultural understanding and cultural sensitivity, which we then apply to our tours. On one of my tours, I also got offered a job at one of the biggest tourism companies in South Africa.
I learned to deal with different types of personalities while also remaining culturally sensitive. I also learned how the world of tourism opens up opportunities for you, regardless of your culture, ethnicity, or race.
So what I have learned is that communication is key. Working in a group with cultural backgrounds and with people, our clients that come from different cultural backgrounds, to get that moment of professionalism that everybody understands you and how they understand you back. It is just communication is key when doing tour guides.
So what I learned from UP campuses was people skills. So I learned how to work with new people and new cultures, even when doing tours, how to communicate with people with different personalities and work with different cultures.
What I have learned this year is how to be patient with people, specifically culturally diverse people who we have had contact with thus far. Because we have worked with so many culturally diverse people, my patience levels has grown, and I can now deal with all kinds of people, be they difficult or easygoing. I can handle it all. So from our presentation then, it is apparent that UPCT is a business that is very diverse and that operates at a very diverse institution. It is through tourism that we are then exposed to diversities in cultures. The UPCT subscribes to Tourism for Peace, which is an organization that values openness, honesty, diversity, and consultation. Their main aim is to build peace by creating unity between hosts, guests, and the natural environment worldwide. UPCT, which is a work-integrated learning live project business as a whole, is then the perfect example of how the University of Pretoria and how UP Campus Tours bridges the gaps in diversity and mainly cultural diversity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, UPC 2023. I'm assuming it's over to me now to ask you a few questions based on the YouTube live link. Right, so I think let's start with Kaylin. So the first question that is being asked is, do you think you as UPCT have reached your diversity goals for this academic year?
Yes, I do believe that we have done so because we had to learn how to work with these diversities between the five of us to make this business a huge success. So yes, I do believe that we have done that.
Cool, thank you very much. And then I'll throw it over to Almin. Somebody would just like to know, first of all, does UPC cater to local and international tourists that want to visit the campus?
Yes, of course we do. We have people from various countries coming, like the Netherlands, to come study here, from Tanzania, from China. We have gotten a lot of people, international people as well as local people, coming to our campus to do a campus tour. Yeah, definitely.
Thank you. And then let's move on to Analisiwe. Right, so somebody is very excited to hear, or rather to find out, where can they find you on all your social media handles, and how is UPCT marketing itself on a yearly basis?
Yes, our UP Campus Tours on Instagram and on Facebook, they go under UP Campus Tours. And then please like and share our profile. Follow us.
Yeah, remember to get that in, very important. And then I'll ask Monique, just on the question of rainbowism, can you perhaps expand a bit more on that in your UPCT year?
So the term Rainbow Nation, as we all know, comes from Bishop Desmond Tutu. So we can see like a sort of Rainbow Nation between us five, as we're all different cultures and different like ethnicity groups as well.
And then finally, to Marley, do you think gender equality plays an important role in cultural diversity?
Yes, I do think gender plays an important role in cultural diversity. Although we are only ladies this year, normally we do have gents joining us at the UP campus tours as well. But I think it is an integral part of diversity as well.
Cool, excellent. And then finally, just a comment for perhaps the whole group from YouTube. I'll just read the comment out loud. This seems like an initiative that adds value on multiple levels. Keep up the great work. May this experience serve you well moving forward into your respective professional careers.
Thank you.
Right, so that's everything from my side. I'll hand over to you guys again. Thanks so much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you for listening.
Bye-bye.